I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the flames still fighting all my sins. Don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my knees, a guardian angel will set me free. A guardian angel will set me free.
Good evening. Today we're going to be doing a similar thing to last time. We're going to be doing a tune from scratch. I think this time I'm looking to do like maybe a Morgan Seatree type tune, a bit piano housey. Let's see where we get with it. So I've just dragged in this Karen Harding and Dimension tune, Guardian Angel, which I absolutely love. So yeah, let's give it a go. First off, I'm going to start off by getting a piano from Nexus, because Nexus is one of the goats. We might end up going to an M1, but let's see where we get to with Nexus. To get one of these pianos. So we're in E minor.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun. I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the flames still fighting all my sins. Don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down.
Right, I think that's going to be it. So we're in E minor. Our first chord is going to be the third, which is the G. G major, A minor, G major, A major, B minor. Set me free. Something like that. Right, let's try just knock those out quickly.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me.
Right, third chord can be a bit more interesting. Let's see.
I never drink Tuesday night. I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will. I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun.
Right, so we're in E minor. So let's kick this into E minor. So now we can see where all of our notes are. I'm just going to fold the scale. So
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun.
Maybe we're not E minor because there's a C sharp in there. Hang on a sec. Okay, we're in B minor.
I never drink Tuesday night. I never drink Tuesday night.
Maybe let's push this second note before the beat.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me.
Let's push that one as well. I think this note can be something different.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me.
Could work.
Down on me, down on me, down on me.
I mean, any of these could work, really.
Down on me, down on me. I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me.
Dum, dum, bum, bum. Let's do a bit of a rhythm there.
On me. I never drink me. I never drink Tuesday night. I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the flames still fighting all my sins. On a way to window to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe.
Right, this is where we're going to add a rhythm to our piano. Might even change some of the chords maybe, but let's do the rhythm for now. Right, we want to change there. Maybe we hang on that note. Maybe that's just a cyclical up and then back down, maybe. And back to this original one. Alright, that could be our basis, so let's just try as at the moment so we can make those chords a little bit more interesting. Let's just see if these ones at the start are right.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me.
Let's see what happens if we start on the E.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the flames still fighting all my sins. On a way to window to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down.
Let's make that a bit more interesting. Let's add a little gap in this bit here.
Down on my knees, a guardian angel will set me free.
Alright, I think that's going to be our basis. We might change it later on, but let's see. Let's just change... let's add some notes. So maybe we can have some bass notes on the piano.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the flames still fighting all my sins. On a way to window to begin. Let me down, 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 down.
Okay, cool. Right, let's try these thirds. Let's take them up an octave and see what that sounds like.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night.
Right, I think I need some weird little sort of accidental notes going on in there. So let's just try it out, see what happens.
I never drink Tuesday night. 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 Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine. And maybe love will shine down on me. And maybe love will shine down on me. And 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 down on me. I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost.
All right, let's try that.
I never drink Tuesday night.
Right, let's spice up that piano just a little bit. Let's add some OTT onto that.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? Oh, the flames still fighting all my sins. Don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my.
I'm not 100% sure about that chord structure. Let's just see. Maybe that worked a bit there.
I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my knees, a guardian angel will set me free.
Right, let's go with that. Let's do the same thing. Let's add some low octave to that piano.
I believe a guardian angel is here with me. I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my knees, a guardian angel will set me free.
Let's try put those thirds up an octave as well.
I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my knees.
A little bit more epic, and it sort of starts to lend itself to a bit of a melody on top.
I believe a guardian angel.
Da, 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 da.
Angel is here with me. I believe a guardian angel. A guardian angel is here with me.
Right, we're missing a low note out of this chord here.
Angel is here with me. I believe a guardian angel is here with me.
Maybe we can change that last note so it's not exactly the same as this second one here.
Is here with me. Down on my knees, a guardian angel. I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my knees, a guardian angel will set. An angel will set me free.
All right, maybe something like that. Let's work with that for now.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love.
In this intro, let's just take some of the high end out of that piano, so it's not so massive.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there?
Just gonna
Oh, the
put a
flames still burn.
bit of OTT on that vocal.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came.
And a bit of reverb. The way that that rip has come out, so I've gotten rid of some of that reverb.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will.
The heck's happened there?
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You can't.
What the heck? Everything's gone down a semitone.
I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my knees.
All right, reverb might be a bit much,
I never drink Tuesday night.
especially in this bit where there's lots of piano going on.
I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my knees, a guardian angel will set me free.
I'm still not totally sold on that piano. Let me just move some of these about a bit. Is that better?
I believe a God.
spare? Let's try out that low note one.
I believe a guardian angel is here. I believe a guardian angel.
Maybe this note should carry on.
I believe a guardian angel is here.
I like that note, actually. Let's change this to that.
I believe a guardian angel is here. I believe a guardian angel. I believe a guardian angel is here. Angel is here.
Right, I think that's a bit better.
I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my knees, a guardian angel.
Yeah, a little bit different from the original as well. I think the one we had was a bit too close to the original. So this creates its own little melodic universe.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there?
Right, let's add classic M1 string 32, and we just have that on the root note, which is the B, as this pre comes in, I guess.
Oh, the flames still fighting all my sins. Don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe a guardian.
Right, maybe not in that section, but this one certainly.
All the flames still fighting. All the flames still. All the flames still. All the flames still fighting all my.
See what it's like an octave up.
All the flames still fighting all my sins. Don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down.
Alright, one thing is that reverb is mental on this piano. Let's take that down.
Angel is here with me. Down on my knees, a guardian angel will set me free. A guardian angel will set me free. I believe a guardian angel.
Alright, our drop's going to be here. I think might be a bit too much of a build up, but let's see how we go. Let's make that a bit more interesting. Let's forego that first note and then make that halfway through the bar. Maybe there.
I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my
Yeah, nice.
way to it. I believe free.
Right, in this little section in the build, it feels like there needs to be something melodic that changes, and we might just put something on top. Let's just get rid of these for now. Just want to create a melody maybe that's in the same rhythm as the piano. So let's just make a very basic patch. Maybe a square wave. Weirdly sounding a bit too 2012 at the moment, but we can work with it for now. Let's see what these notes are going to be. Actually, let's get rid of that square wave. That's putting me off. Let's put it back to a saw. And let's make it a bit more plucky. So let's send the LFO to the cutoff envelope. Still sounds like 2012 EDM. maybe even the same notes as that original piano. Right, let's make that a bit more interesting. So distortion is way too much. Right, maybe something like that. Let's put a bit of delay on that. Some reverb. Sounds a bit squeaky at the moment. Right, I think we can get better, but let's just leave that for now. Let's just create a little bit of a drop. So in my template, I've always got kick racks, clap racks, hat racks. So everything is all already set up. So all the MIDI is in there. Let me just turn off this kickstart. Turn some of these down a little bit so we can hear those drums properly. Right, we're super slow at the moment. Let's crank this up. Might sound a bit weird with the vocal because the vocal is coming from drum and bass. So yeah, we'll have to see that because the vocal might get too quick. But I kind of want to be around 140. Let's go there for now, but we might have to rein that back in once we go back to listen to the verse and stuff. So let's see. Maybe a bit quick. Right, that's going to be the basis of our drum pattern, and then I always have these little shuffles. Again, let's take some of that low end out. And then let's get these perks in. Right, I like the swing on that one, so let's copy that swing over to here. Right, let's get a bit of a top loop in there, just to speed some things up. Let's get rid of that kick. Maybe something like that. Right, that piano we can make a bit more interesting. Maybe something like that, so there's a bit of a melody at the end of that phrase. Let's add another note in there as well. Right, let's add some kickstart to that vocal in the drop. Don't want it too much. I'm going to make it super tight and not 100%. Right, there's loads of low end in that piano in the drop, so I'm just going to duplicate that. And then once we get to the drop, we're just going to take some of that low end out. So this is going to be our verse piano, and this is our drop. Let's just take some of that low end out. And I always like to put a ozone imager on pianos. So just crank up the high end a little bit. So this number 3 we'll put in stereoize mode. And I might even duplicate that, and let's get an M1 house piano in there as well. So we can just layer that drop piano up just a little bit. Right, let's get rid of all of the processing on this M1 because it does sound pretty terrible. Actually, I'm just going to take off that imager from the Nexus one and only have it on the M1 piano. So it's a subtle difference having those two in there, but it does just add a bit of richness because you've got two tones of two different pianos playing at the same time. So I think in this section we can just have the Nexus piano, and then when we get into the drop we can add this other layer to make it a bit more interesting.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe low.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate the vocal, and in all these different sections I'm going to process them slightly differently. So let's just have a verse vocal, a pre-vocal and a chorus vocal like this.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with.
So because there's much more space in this part of the vocal in the verse, we can add more effects to it. So there's much more room for things like delays. Because in this section, it's quite heavy with the vocals, so you don't want to be eating up too much space with delays and stuff. So that's why I'm duplicating it and making it different processing as we go through the song. So this one, because we've got a lot of space, let's put some delay on there.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? Oh, the flames still fighting all my sins. Don't know where to end, no to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my knees.
All right, let's start adding some drums into this section.
Angel is here with me. Down on my knees. I got.
I'm just going to duplicate this hat rack here, and instead of an open hat like we've got there, I'm just going to add some closed hats.
A guardian down on my knees. A guardian angel will set me free.
Maybe let's carry those on.
Angel is here with me. Down on my.
And I think we could add some kind of rhythm in there with a different kind of hat. Let's see.
Down on my knees. Down on my knees. A guardian down on my knees. Down on my knees. A guardian angel will set me free.
Right, in this build, let's go with a 909 snare. When we're putting it in as a sampler or a simpler here, the root note or the original sample is always played at C3. So that's the original sample. If you have it somewhere else, it pitches the note, so I'd always keep it at C3. So let's create a pattern that is a basic bitch snare riser. Let's take that low end out, we don't need all that. Maybe let's wait until here. It's eating up a lot of space, so actually I don't think the sample needs to be that long, so we can just take this flag. And maybe we can double that at the end of this phrase here. Okay, nice work. So we've got the basis of a sort of layout. So now it's effectively, how do we make this sound better? Because we've got the basic bare bones, the outline, the fundamentals, everything is there. Now let's make it even better. So let's see. Let's listen from the top.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep.
Right, just to make that a bit more interesting, I think we can take some of the velocity down on this piano. So the velocities are not all the same, so it just sounds a bit more human.
Maybe love will shine down on me. You came like
And then we can even just shorten that a bit as well.
you came like a ghost.
Maybe we take that down an octave.
You came like a ghost in the night.
Sounds much more human like that. Let's duplicate that.
Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me.
I think we've taken a bit too much of that low end out in this section, so let's bring some of that back in.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the flames still fighting, all my sins on the way to window to begin. Let me down, down.
Right, I think we can have like a little pad going on maybe. So let's just copy those piano notes. Let's just make very basic. Right, let's increase that. Something like that. Let's just put a load of reverb on that.
Flames still fighting, all my sins on the way to window to begin. Let me down, 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 down.
Let's elongate that last note. And then we can automate the cutoff so it just opens as this section ends. Right, it still sounds like there's a lot of low end. Just gonna rein that in just a tiny bit. I think we need a shaker loop in this section where all these drums come in. Let's try a couple of them. Again, we don't need all of that low end. There's some rumble down there we just don't need. Right, let's add some crashes in there as well.
It's here with me.
Again, so much low end. Don't need all that. Let's add a reverse crash into that as well. Right, I still think that melody can be better, but let's just change the sound a little bit. I think it needs a bit more washy. Let's just compress that a little bit as well. Maybe something like that. Let's do. And I think we can take out some of that high end as well because it's quite snappy at the top end. Right, let's add some kicks into this build. Oh, there's a crash in there that shouldn't be. Maybe let's double that at the end here. Yeah, let's just take those snares out for a sec. Right, we'll take maybe one or two out from that little section there, just so there's a bit more impact when the drop comes in. I think this is a bit too intense, these snares we've got. And then maybe we can have a snare on top of that that does another sort of rhythm. They're quite long. Again, let's just shorten them a bit. Okay, nice. Right, let's do a little bit of automation just so those kicks aren't so intense before the drop. So let's just take out some of the low end and maybe some of the high end as well when it starts to build like this. So just taking some of that low end out, and then let's do the same for the highs. Maybe add another one in. And then let's take out some elements in this little tiny section before the drop. But maybe we'll leave in this snare. Alright, that's sounding good.
I never drink Tuesday night.
Right, let's do a few little effects.
I never drink Tuesday night.
Let's take a snapshot from that.
Day night.
Let's put a load of reverb on that. And then we can resample this one, solo this one, and record that. And then we can just press R and reverse it.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up. I never drink Tuesday night. I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me.
Right, I think this one needs to hold on a little bit longer.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the flames still fighting, all my sins, don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down.
I'm kind of thinking that this part of the pre,
Flames still fighting.
we could just change the chords. Might make it a bit more interesting. Let's see what we can do. So
Flames still fighting on, flames still fighting, flames still fighting on my sins, don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, down. Flames still fighting on my sins, don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down. Flames still fighting on my sins, don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down.
right, they go a bit too deep there, but just take it up an octave.
Down, 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 down. Flames still fighting on my sins. Down, 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 down. Flames still
Right, let's get that back to a triad, and then we can find out what that chord should be.
down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down.
Yeah, maybe that. Let's try something like
Flames
that.
still fighting on my sins, don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe. Flames still fighting on my sins, don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down.
Maybe something like that. Let's copy. Let's make sure automation doesn't change because we've got some automation on this track. Let's copy that over to our pad.
Flames still fighting on my sins, don't know where to end or
Maybe something like that. Let's see how it sounds from the top.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down.
Again, I think there's still too much high end that we've taken out. Let's bring that back in.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the flames still fighting on my sins, don't know where to end or
All right, I think that's good. We just need to bridge into that next note a little bit better.
take me there. All the flames still,
Do-do-do.
all the flames still fight. All the flames still, all the flames still, all the flames still, all the flames still.
Maybe actually it could be a note up here.
All the flames still fighting on my sins, don't know where to end. Deep in the dark, you came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the flames still fighting on my sins, don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe a guardian.
Alright, I think that's a bit better. I'm still not quite sold on this last note. Maybe let's just take a second to change that.
Don't know where to end or to begin. Don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down.
Yeah, maybe it's that is going to be our bass note.
Let me down, 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 down.
Still sounds a bit low. Let's take some of these
Let me
up.
down, 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 down. I believe.
Maybe something like that. Let's keep that there for now. Also, I think maybe the push note at the end here we don't need.
You came like a ghost in the night.
Maybe that could just be on the beat.
You came like a ghost in the night. A shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the flames still fighting on my sins, don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down.
Let's push it.
Lay me down, 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 down. I believe, down, down, down. I believe I got it.
All right, we need some transition things going on. So let's bring that crash, reverse crash over.
I believe I got it.
Actually, let's try put a kick in. I always toy with this because there's something about having no drums that makes it sound so epic, but sometimes it does just feel a little bit flat. So let's just try get those kicks in, but with a low pass on it. I think for now, let's keep it. Let's keep that low cut in there. The only problem we run into is once this kick stops and in this section the kick comes back out again, the energy feels like it drops a little bit. So we need to consider that and maybe find ways of keeping the energy up in this next bit. We could keep the kick going on, or it could be something else. Let's see how we go. So I think we can do that. We just got to build up to it and then sort of drop back down. So I think maybe we want a sub impact. Maybe something like that. Maybe not quite the right one. Something like that. Right, let's put this transition as well. Got some of them twinkly chimes. Absolutely love that kind of sound. There's so much impact on the top end, and also it's not the same as having like a white noise down lifter. It has so much more of an organic sound to it. So something like that. Really twinkly at the top. And then maybe we haven't done anything with the basses at the moment, but maybe we need a kind of tonal riser that we could just do from like just a sub maybe. So we are in, what are we in? G minor? Right, we're in B minor. So let's stick that on B. Just make that a sine. And we can just automate the pitch bend. Just up one octave. Something like that. Maybe we could do it an octave lower. Right, let's take it out just before that little bit there. And then we hit our drop. Right, let's listen from the top again.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark.
Right, just to make this a bit more interesting, let's make some kind of sort of ambience. So what should we do? Let's just put a load of delay and a load of reverb on this patch. Actually, do you know what we should use? Is a Valhalla shimmer. Right, I'm going to put the wet all the way up, and let's just take some of that low end out, because you can hear there's a crazy amount of low end in there. Let's soften that sound up, maybe with a sine wave. Right, so we're in B minor. I'm just going to play a B minor chord, so a B, a D, and an F sharp. And hopefully that will just sit as a nice little bed behind these chords. Let's see how it goes.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me? Yeah. All the pain still fighting all my sins.
Right, so as I was playing that, I just changed the octaves. I don't think I'm going to quantize them or anything because they're so reverbed out. We just want that sitting behind as a little bed. It's a little bit soft at the moment. Let's take it back to a saw wave and just take some of the high end out. Let's put some distortion on there. And maybe some hyper dimension. So that's just going to be a very, very subtle little bed behind our chords. Still a little bit too much low end in there for me. Let's make this delay ping pong so it just flicks left and right.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the pain still fighting all my sins. Don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down.
Okay, nice. Right, we've got to find our way into this next section because at the moment the transition is a bit weird. Maybe let's forego those couple of notes. Right, let's try that. And then if we make a reverse, let's resample this piano. And then we can just reverse that. So maybe this is our way of getting into this section. I don't really want those hanging over, so you don't want these two clashing with each other. So I'm just going to take this in when this one finishes. Let's put a bit of a transition in there. With tunes like this, you kind of need to lean into. It really gives me vibes of sort of EDM, 2012 Avicii type songs with lots of white noise sweeps. So as soon as this kick came in, I could just hear that. So I think we need a white noise sweep like this. Just, yeah, I think that works. It just informs us that something big is sort of happening in this section. Right, I feel like we need a bit of a change in the melody or in the chords. Just like one note we could add just at the end somewhere here. Maybe something like that, just make it a bit more weird. And then maybe the last note, we can change one of the last chord, we can change one of the notes. Let's just play with this lead for now. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to Nexus because I feel like there's just going to be something in there that's a bit more interesting than what we've done. Right, I quite like this. Again, this sounds sort of really Euro housey. I'm kind of digging it. So let's just copy some of the processing that we had on our previous one. Right, there's so much low end in there. Let's just put an EQ at the end. Right, so as we notice, when we get into that drop, everything sort of dies down a little bit too much. So what we're going to do, we're just going to automate some bits. So let's just take out some of the low end of some of these elements before we get into the drop. Including our piano. Let's put another EQ on that. And then just get rid of that high end as we go. I think the snare as well, because it's so full. Let's take out some of the low end in that as well. And maybe this vocal as well. Actually, let's stick an endless smile on that. We need a bass in that drop. So let's copy the chord pattern and we can just delete all of the top ones because we're only going to use these lower ones because they're the root note. Right, so we quite often use this, I don't know, there's two ways we can go about this. We can do a sort of speed garagey Reese, or we can do a bit more of a donkey sort of sound. Let's try a Reese for now. So let's just take these two down and up on the fine tune. Let's put a filter on both of those. Take that down an octave. Right, so we've got that kind of vibe, or we can try a bit more of a sort of plucky sound. So let's do a similar thing, but this time let's use an LFO to make it a bit more plucky. So let's send that there. Make sure that's on envelope. And maybe if we do that, we should put it on the offbeats, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, this one, plucky one's not quite doing it for me. Let's try carry on with this Reese one.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night.
I feel like those vocals tiny bit out of time. Just feels a bit weird with those pianos. Let's just see.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me.
It's a bit better.
You came like a ghost in the night. A shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the place you're fighting, all my sins, don't know where to end up.
Right, transition's a bit weird. Maybe let's take that down a bit.
And I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? All the place you're fighting, all my sins, don't know where to end up. To begin, let me down, 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 down.
Alright, that drop needs so much work. So let me just take out that bass for now. I feel like maybe the actual level of the master drops a little bit when we get into that drop. So we don't want the overall level of this master, so the actual volume, to drop when we get into the drop. So we want it, if anything, to increase. So let's see. Maybe we just need to take some of the volumes of the elements down before we get into the drop. So let's see. Or the other way round. We might need to take some of the elements of the drop up. The one thing that always psychs me out is these snare rises, because they eat up so much space. So I'm just going to mute that for now, and then we can see what the volume is in between those drops. Right, let's bring in that down sweep that we had in here, and also let's add a white noise. I feel like a noise just in the drop just really helps to make that impact a bit more impactful. Right, a bit loud at the moment, but what we can do is do something a little bit interesting on the master. So we can put utility on the master, and then let's just take the width down a little bit. So the width, as we're going into that build, we can just take down, so it all goes into the sort of center of the stereo field, and then when we get back into that drop, then it becomes wide again. So it's quite an interesting little thing to do. Right, so one thing that is really standing out is those kicks are super loud. So I'm just going to automate with this utility volume of the kicks. Right, so now we can hear, even though we've not got the drop fully finished, it elevates. Whereas before it was sort of falling down, whether that was in volume or in energy or whatever it was. This section was high energy, high volume, and then it sort of dropped down a bit. Whereas now, even without that bass, it sort of still holds up. We're still elevating into that next section, even though we haven't got one of the main elements being the bass. So let's just make sure that we're good on that front. Yeah, much better. Let's get that bass working. Right, let's just duplicate everything in this second half here. So the second part of the drop, we're taking out the main part of the vocal, just kind of carrying on everything else. Let's duplicate these bits into that drop. Vocal gets a little bit lost, I think, so maybe we can duplicate the vocal, and we can have just this one lane for the vocal and the drop, so we can just take that up a bit, so we don't have to do it with automation, we can just do it with a new channel. Just gonna put an EQ on that because there's a lot of low end. And we could even just really spice that up a little bit more in that section with a saturator. these kind of songs, the vocal is the main character in this whole song. So we want to make sure that the instrumentation isn't sort of drowning out the vocal. So it's very easy, especially when you're focusing on the production side, because you're listening to the pianos, to the drums, to the bass, all that kind of thing. When you listen to them, you have or I particularly have a tendency to make them louder than they need to be. So at the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, right, because I'm listening and concentrating on those parts of the track, being the elements behind the vocal, I need to make sure that the vocals never get too low. So quite often I will focus on the production and then go back and listen and make sure that the vocals are loud enough, because the vocals are the pinnacle. They're meant to be the things that stand out to the listener. So if we listen back, I think there might be some parts of the song where the vocals are too quiet because we've been focusing on the other elements. So without focusing directly on those other bits of the instrumentation, let's make sure when we listen back as a consumer of this song, which, you know, anyone apart from ourselves will be, that these vocals are loud enough.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and
Already needs to be way louder.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you, have you come to take me there? Oh, the place your body,
And these ones louder.
place your body and all my sins. Don't know where to end, no to begin. Let me down. I believe a guardian angel is giving me down on my knees. A guardian angel.
So you notice before they weren't the foreground of the audible experience, and now when we've taken them up, they are right at the forefront, and that's kind of what we want with this kind of genre, particularly when it's such a overt and the vocal is so strong. We really want them to be forefront in the mix, and by the mix I just mean how loud they are in comparison to everything else. So we've got to make sure that they're loud enough.
Down. I believe a guardian angel is giving me down on my knees. A guardian angel will set me free. A guardian angel will set me free.
Right, something about that drop still isn't hitting for me. The build is really great. It really feels like it works really well. And then once it gets to the drop, there's just something in it that's just not really hitting very hard. So what I'm going to do, I find helps a lot, I'm just going to mute pretty much everything and make sure that the foundation of that drop really works. So the foundation being the kick and the bass. So let's keep the vocals in maybe. Right, let's mute those pianos. Because the thing is, if it works well with just a kick and a bass and a vocal, then once you add everything else, being the tops and the pianos, then it's going to sound amazing. So being able to hone in on what it is at the moment that is not hitting right with those three elements, kick, bass, vocals. Once we get those three right, then everything else will fall in place. It'll be so much easier. So let's find out what that is. I'm just going to bring the volume of that down just so we can focus in on the bass and vocals a bit more. I mean, it feels to me it's something about the rhythm just isn't right. Maybe we need the bass to do a bit more of the rhythm. Let's see what we can do. So maybe let's make the bass do that kind of rhythm rather than just being static as it is at the moment. Alright, maybe that's gonna make it a little bit more interesting. So let's just do our usual. Make that a little bit more plucky. And let's change this to, I don't know, something a bit more weird. I think we still want a saw wave, but maybe a different kind of saw wave. Maybe something like that, let's see. Right, let's stick with that. Let's put some erosion on there. Put white noise, let's put the width super, super wide. And then let's put saturator on after that. Right, we've got way too much high end. So after we've done all of that saturation, let's just take some of the top end out. Let's play with the swing. Right, and then to make it a bit more interesting, let's not just keep that same rhythm the whole way through. Let's do some little bits, like let's take this an octave up. So something like that. Let's do the same with the octave up. And then maybe at the end. Maybe something like that. Let's maybe change a note. Let's try that. So add a little bit more movement to that. I think this LFO can be a bit more plucky. Right, let's see how that rhythm works with our piano. Yeah, good. I think that works pretty well. Let's see what happens when we bring the rest of those drums in. Let's play it from the beginning and just see how it all goes from there.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you, had to come to take me there. Oh, the place you're fighting all my sins, don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe a guardian angel is here with me. Down on my knees, a guardian angel will set me free. A guardian angel will set me free.
Right, again, something about that drop still wasn't hitting right for me. It could be the drums. Maybe we need to change the drums a little bit. Right, I think there's something about the automation that I think we can do a bit better with. So let's just do some group automation when we just take out the low end just before the drop. I still think that kick, maybe we got too much low end in that kick. Let's just try to take some of that out. Right, I think we need a bit more of a gap. And maybe with our drum group, we can just take some of the lows out as well. Those two 909 hits, we could just bring that back in a bit more. Right, I think it's not in a bad place. Let's just have a little listen from the top.
I never drink Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down on me. You came like a ghost in the night, a shadow deep in the dark, and I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me there? Oh, the place you're fighting all my sins. Don't know where to end or to begin. Let me down, 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 down. I believe a guardian angel is giving me down on my knees. A guardian angel will set me free. A guardian angel will set me free.
All right, nice. I mean, we're in a pretty good place there. It's not the drop particularly, I think, needs a lot of work, but it's a demo for now. This is where we in a couple of hours, this is where we got to. If you want to see me finish off this tune, do let me know in the comments. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you for being with me. I do hope it's helped. And love to your mothers.